Good afternoon. At outset, first of all, I would like to thank Dr. Tripathi and organizers for giving me opportunity to be here in this evening. I know this is the last session, so I will try to be very brief as possible, so that an important message can go to the people over here. Most of the times when we are you are practicing cardiology and MI, coronary artery disease is such a prevalent problem that you encounter it every now and then in your OPD. You send the patient for angiogram. Angiogram is done by the interventional cardiologist, and if he finds a triple vessel disease, left main disease, he offers both choice. He can go for angioplasty or bypass surgery. Then patient does not believe in the cardiologist and come back to you because you are more close to him, and then ask you, which should I have? Should I go for bypass or should I go for the PCI? Therefore, it becomes important for you also to know when to send these patients for bypass surgery or when to say that okay, PCI is fine. Which is the best for the patient and what is the treatment which is going to give or deliver the best outcome. Traditionally, the PTCA has been cost effective if we include the cost of loss of work days as well, and it has fast recovery, reduced acute complications, but it has increased restenosis and repeat revascularization in the era of the BMS, and it still remains in the era of DES as well. While surgery, there is more efficient and generally reduced re-interventions, and there is more complete revascularization in the CABG than in PTCA. High cost and more invasive treatment is the negative option. So in the past, this has favored the CABG because patients were getting the more benefit of CABG than the PTCA. Both techniques have evolved over a period of time, and in PCI there has been improved techniques day by day, improved in the stent design. Advent of the DES has changed the revascularization rate as well. Decreased restenosis has been there, and repeat this revascularization is still there more than the CABG. In CABG, often such techniques have evolved, which do not require to go on pump. Less invasive approach is now being adopted. Increased arterial revascularization, which gives long-lasting results, and optimal perioperative monitoring decreases the acute complications, though high cost and more invasive nature remains. Therefore, nowadays there has been level playing field, be it PCI or CABG. If we talk about the evidence, which one is better? If we talk about the evidence, then none of the trials, barring few, has shown that the mortality or MI is better with any one of them. So there is no difference if we talk about the mortality and MI as a hard point. Whether patient is going for PCI or whether patient is going for the CABG. But there has been one consistent difference throughout, and this difference is the repeat revascularization. The CABG has always win over the PCI in repeat revascularization in coming days. But with advent of the DES, which has shown a significant decrease in the revascularization rate, we expected that this problem should also get solved and in the future. So let's see whether it has been solved or not. The PCI, we have started doing PCI in simple lesion and moved to more complex lesions, and simultaneously more longer lesions also we started doing it. more complex lesions and more longer lesions are now being done by being treated by the PCI as well. In one of the trial, ARTIST 2, I will just touch upon very important trials and their results only. It compared the 607 patients who went for the sirolimus eluting stent, that is the drug eluting stent, and this was compared with the historical control of ARTIST 1, where the bare metal stent was used. And in this case, you can clearly see there is significant survival advantage in patients who went for the sirolimus eluting stent compared to the BMS, and this result was comparable to the ARTIST 1 surgical group. So this trial showed that with DES the results were similar whether patient is going for the bypass surgery or the stenting with the DES. At end of the 1 year, there was no difference whether patient went for the bypass surgery historically or patient went for the DES implantation. So to summarize ARTIST 2, among patients with the multivessel coronary artery lesions, patients treated with the sirolimus eluting stent had significantly lower rate of MACE compared to the historical registry of similar patients treated with the bare metal stents, and majority of the difference in MACE between ARTIST 2 and ARTIST 1 was the BMS driven, and CABG did not have any significant advantage over it. Then came since this was the randomized control trial, it did not reflect the real world scenario. So came the Syntex trial, and it tried to address the issue in the real world. It was all-comer study, consensus, physician-driven decision, and there was no entry or exit. There is no restricted criteria for the entry. Patients who were included were either isolated left main, a left main with 1, 2, 3 vessel disease or 3 vessel disease. Patients with de novo 3 vessel disease, it was decided by the local heart team whether they are amenable for both treatment or amenable for only one treatment. If they are amenable for both treatment, CABG and bypass, then they were divided into 2 groups. One group was treated with the bypass surgery and another was with the taxus stents. And what was the outcome like? The revascularization was significantly higher in patients with who were in PTCA group than the patient in CABG group, but there is no difference in death, MI or stroke. Both group of patients fared well, equally well. In MI also there was no significant difference, but stroke was significantly higher in patients who went for the bypass surgery compared to those patients who went for the PCI. This was 1 year outcome. The choice between CABG and PCI is complex and it depends on patient's factor as well as technical consideration. CABG tends to have less revascularization, but there is nothing which can be said that one size fits all approach, and it should be individualized. If we talk about the diabetic patients, in them there is a significant difference between outcome between the CABG and PTCA. Patients who went for the CABG fared well, particularly those patients where LAD, that is left anterior descending artery, was involved, particularly in proximal or ostial region. So patients with the proximal and ostial LAD who went for the CABG and who are diabetic, they fared well compared to those patients who went for the PTCA. So what are the factors which should favor CABG? Diffuse disease, progressive disease, and chronic total occlusion in patients with the diabetes. See, diabetic patients are different than the normal patients because they tend to have more restenosis rate and the outcomes are lesser. It is said that why they fare well because more complete revascularization and future lesions were also taken care of by putting the graft. While if we did the angioplasty, we could only address the current lesion rather than addressing the future lesion as well. CABG in patients with PCI for patients with 3 vessel disease. Syntax 5 years follow-up is now available, and what we can see is if we talk about the MACE, then if syntax score was less than 22, whether you do CABG or PCI, the results are equal. So patients who have score of less than 22, anyone can be offered. PCI is better because it's less invasive. But if the score is 23 to 32 or more than 32, CABG has advantage. So similar was the all-cause death. Stroke rate was no difference between two. The syntax score for the patients with 3 vessel disease, 5 years follow-up. Again, MACE, all-cause mortality, stroke and MI. The more was the score, better the CABG was better. 3 years outcome in left main disease. If score was less than 22, there was no difference whether patient went for CABG or PCI even in left main. So 23 to 32, again there was no difference. But once the score became more than 33, that is the syntax score which is more than 33, then there is a significant difference. So patients whose score is less than 33 can be treated with PCI even if they have left main disease. But once the score is more than 33, these patients must not be taken for the PCI. So what is the guideline like? Left main disease with the syntax score of less than 22. This is class 1 indication whether you go for CABG or PCI. But with 23 to 32, CABG remains the class 1, PTCI remains class 2A. Some of the experts do not agree that these patients should go for PTCI. And left main disease with syntax score of more than 32, CABG remains the choice of the treatment while PTCI is contraindicated. This is class 3. So what is clinical implication of the syntax? There should be a hard team decision depending on the life expectancy, comorbidities, extent of the disease, and perceived need for the technical likelihood to completing the revascularization. And a hard team should constitute an interventional cardiologist and a CTVS surgeon, and they should take decision taking all things in consideration for individual patients. If we talk about the multivessel disease with a stable angina, 3 vessel disease, traditionally 3 vessel disease, LV dysfunction, LMCA disease, CTO of the major arteries, and diffuse disease should go for the bypass surgery. But now, and 2 vessel disease, preserved LV functions, advanced age, and comorbidities, suitable anatomy should go for the bypass surgery. Now, with the advancement of the good techniques and the hardwares, the 3 vessel disease with low syntax score can also go for the bypass, the PCI. LMCA disease with low syntax score can go for PCI, and LV dysfunction also do well with the PCI if we compare with the CABG. The diabetic patient remains the challenge, and if patient is diabetic and particularly distal left main is involved or ostial LAD is involved, these patients should go for the bypass surgery. They fare well with the bypass surgery. Patients with the diabetes and low EF should fare well with the bypass surgery. So, what is important in PCI, even after 2 days, patient go on walking, most of them, while in CABG requires a prolonged stay in the hospital, and prolonged time is required to be back to the meaningful life. Thank you very much. So, if I have to summarize my talk, I will say, send the patient for CABG only when patient has 3 vessel disease, particularly LAD ostial or LAD proximal, low ejection fraction and diabetic, and if patient has a syntax score of more than 22, then offer them surgery or bypass surgery or PCI, and if syntax score is more than 32, then definitely offer the bypass surgery. Thank you very much.